Pfitz Reaction Bars will be successful because we have revolutionized the barbell into a multifunctional, multi-sensory tool that simultaneously trains strength, balance, coordination, and reaction time, leading to better athletic performance and reducing the risk of injury.
Good evening.
Hello.
I'm Allison Dillon.
I'm Dan Pfitzer.
And we are part of the Pfitz Reaction Bar team, and we're here to talk to you about the Pfitz Reaction Bars.
The bars with balls.
So every athlete wants to stay in the game. And what keeps an athlete from staying in the game? Poor performance, injury, lack of conditioning. And today the focus on athletic training has really shifted from doing exercises strictly to gain muscle or to get more conditioned by doing cardio, into training for things like balance, agility, proprioception. So what is proprioception? Well, it's our body's inner GPS system that is constantly telling us where we are at in relation to the things around us. And it's a highly complex system. It involves our muscles, our neurons, tendons, our central nervous system, and those smaller stabilizing muscles around the joints. And they all work together to coordinate every single move that we make. And the more highly conditioned this system is, the quicker our bodies are able to react to what is happening around us. And most people think of this as balance or agility. And it's our ability to react that keeps us injury-free and performing at a high level. So how do we train for balance and agility? Our solution is the Pfitz Reaction Bar. And what makes our barbells better is that our bars have balls. Steel balls that roll freely inside the bar create novelty and unpredictability. And it's this novelty and unpredictability that requires you to engage your core to stay in balance. It's recruiting those smaller, stabilizing muscles around the joints that aren't activated by standard weightlifting alone. And it requires you to stay highly focused on what you're doing. And it's this back and forth movement that mimics the real-world demands that are placed on an athlete's muscles and joints. And this multifunctional approach that we have termed reaction training is what translates to the athlete's ability to react quickly if the body needs to adjust in order to make the shot, change position, or to avoid a hit. This decreases the likelihood of getting injured and increases athletic performance. Yep. Hold on. Now, the global fitness equipment market is growing steadily and is expected to reach $11.9 billion by 2020. And while we currently have 5 different bars developed that can be used by anyone from a 90-year-old to a professional athlete, our initial strategy is to focus on a smaller key initial target market, which is the grip sports, such as lacrosse. So you might be wondering, why lacrosse? Well, lacrosse is actually the fastest growing sport in the country, and it's growing at about 30% a year at both the high school and the collegiate level. There are over 16,000 lacrosse players just in the state of Ohio alone. And our bars are the perfect training tool to develop the agility required to play lacrosse. Now, Dan has been demoing our clear bar just to show you what's happening internally. This is our 4-foot club bar, but it's actually made of steel, and this bar retails for $349. On the screen behind us is our Ultimate Sports Grip Trainer, which is a smaller version that is ideally suited for the lacrosse market, and that bar retails for $249. Now you're done.
Although there are competitive products in this market category, they're not like ours. Ours is much different because you can incrementally control the dynamic movement of the weight inside the bar, one ball at a time. It also has these rubber range limiting balls that you can control the amount of the dynamic motion inside of the bar. And you can also add as much absolute weight to the outside of the bar as you'd need to. If you want to take the end cap off and pour all the balls out of the bar, it becomes a regular barbell. So it's 2 bars in one.
So we currently hold 2 patents. We formed an LLC in 2013. We have a functioning website. We have prototypes of the bars. We have a trademark of the Pfitz Reaction Bars, and we're also currently engaged in a research study with the University of Toledo. And we're looking to raise $100,000 of seed capital to have a small test run of our sports grip trainer produced and to test initial market sales of the bar.
With balls.
Thanks very much. Judges?
What are your margins like?
So we have been working with a manufacturer in China, and they can produce, for instance, this bar at $150, which we retail at $349. However, it requires a large volume purchase, and we're just not at that point at this juncture. So we're looking for a domestic manufacturer. It's just more expensive to produce domestically in small quantities. But we just want to test the market before we make that plunge.
How'd you get the idea?
I'm sorry?
How'd you get the idea?
The idea came from me working with an anomaly of people at my fitness studio over here in Toledo. We got a large range of different ages and physical abilities, and one of the things that we were trying to do was to find ways to help them develop their balance and their strength collectively together. So we started out actually with water-filled pipes, and then we played around with water with steel balls and so forth, but we finally settled on just the steel balls because of the water's going to be a little bit of maintenance and that type of thing. So
you slightly touched on it, but what is your fitness and lacrosse reputation?
I'm sorry?
Your fitness and lacrosse reputation? Like, are you a bodybuilder, or were you a bodybuilder? Or
never a bodybuilder, a fitness trainer for the last 30 years.
Okay,
Yep.
okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any experience with lacrosse?
No.
I don't, not directly.
It's interesting because we actually debuted this bar at the National Strength and Conditioning Show in Orlando in July, and we got such a great amount of feedback from lacrosse strength and conditioning coaches that were like, this is the perfect tool. Okay. We would have not considered that market ourselves. It sort of came to us.
Cool.
Have you...
That answered my question.
Have you thought of anything in the rehab space?
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Actually, the challenge that we have, because as we said, we actually have 5 different bars, and they're designed to span all levels of fitness, from deconditioned to a professional athlete. But each bar almost needs its own marketing message, and so that's just one whole other aspect of this business that hasn't even been developed yet, but the potential is definitely there, and especially as the aging population. This is a bar that can be used by them to develop that balance to prevent slips and falls, which is, a huge issue as we age.
How durable are the bars?
Well,
We've been using them for the last 3 years with the Detroit Lions, and we gave them the instructions to just use it as abusively as you possibly can, and they have no problems with it at all. So.
Yeah, they said it's actually one of the most indestructible pieces of equipment they've ever had.
Is that why they are horrible this year?
We don't take no responsibility.
Yeah, might have been the wrong one to say there. Huh?
How do you communicate the difference between what you're doing with the balls and the competitors with their other products?
Well, that's really about the variability of the weight, because you're able to vary the weight. You can vary the weight both internally and by adding plate weight, which no other product offers that.
What's your price in comparison to your competitors?
Very good. And that's one of the issues is, each one of those you have to incrementally buy each bar if you want to raise the weight. So when you start factoring that in, we're very competitive with the competitors, where this is a one-time purchase.
Are you from Toledo?
Yes.
You make me proud to be an entrepreneur in Toledo. Seriously.
Thank you.
Awesome.
You might have said this, but what was your sales?
So that has been our key issue. We're at the point where we need capital to produce bars. We've just been able to produce small amounts of prototypes, which we sold at the Strength and Conditioning show. We have orders waiting. We just need to be able to produce some bars at this point.
One final question, judges. Okay. From the audience. And I can't believe that you purchased this.
I want to know who the audience is, actually.
That's none of your business. Cut that microphone. I own a shake weight. Can I trade that in for my shake weight?
Trade it in?
Absolutely.
Is there an exchange program
It's all about
for-
the balls. It's all
Good
about
for
the
you.
balls.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, and thank you, judges.
Great job, man.